Hi, this is Lawrence Frontera, and today I want to talk about the first time that I ever seen a G.I. Joe commercial and the first G.I. Joe figure that I ever got. Now, again, like I said, I want to kind of discuss some things and tell some stories, and I hope some other people want to share also. But like a lot of people, there's certain things that you just remember. And for me, I can remember the exact point that I was, where I was sitting when I saw that first G.I. Joe cartoon. And as I was sitting in front of the TV playing with some toys, I remember I had some Star Wars figures. Not these aren't the original, these are the remakes. And I was playing with some Lone Ranger figures. Um, these are my original, actually pretty cool figures. Don't have the horses anymore, no more silver. These are actually pretty cool, but these are my originals. And I was playing with these figures. And I remember just seeing this commercial pop up on the TV. And it's a small little TV. And you see that commercial. And I just remember I turned around to my dad, who was sitting behind me. And I said, "Can I get a G.I. Joe figure?" And he said, "We'll see we'll see." Now, granted, I was a little spoiled. So I got a lot of things that other kids didn't have. Anyway, that was the first time that I can ever remember seeing G.I. Joe. And I think it pretty much got splattered all over. But that was the first commercial that I ever seen. And I remember exactly what I was playing with. Matter of fact, I even had the snow speeder that I was playing with. I didn't have a lot of Star Wars vehicles. Anyway, fast forward to the first time that I saw the figures in a store. And anyone that's my age, in the 40s, will remember the Sears toy department, which honestly was probably one of the coolest places ever, because it seemed like your parents were always shopping at Sears. So here we are. We go into Sears, and you always go right to the toy section. And a matter of fact, it was one of the first places that you would see when you walked in. And I just remember I see the display, all the figures of the originals, and I said to my dad, "Hey, can I get a G.I. Joe figure?" And at that moment, it was out with all the old toys. It didn't even matter. And he looks at me and he says, "Why don't you get two vehicles?" Honestly, could you imagine being a kid and your dad tells you just get two vehicles? So I remember I grabbed the Vamp and this bad boy. And I just remember I grabbed them and I'm like, all right, these are the two. Nice little packaging. Way cooler than Star Wars because the figure was right there. And my dad stops and says, "Hey, why don't you put this back and get this?" Because they both have figures. That way, instead of having one figure in two vehicles, you have two figures in two vehicles. And honestly, as a 6-year-old kid, it was like the roof opened up, angels were singing, the smartest man in the world. How would he have figured out get two vehicles that have two figures? But honestly, that's what I remember. My first ever G.I. Joe. Um, this here has seen much better days, but this is actually my original. I have not gotten around to replacing it yet. Um, Someday, soon. No figure, as you can see. But again, seen better days, but to me this means even more than having a brand new one that's in great shape, because this is the first G.I. Joe toy that I've ever had. As cool as the Vamp is, as you can see, clutch has swivel arm battle grip, or kung fu grip. It's cool, it's not mine, but either way, I got home, and rather than having your flat here, just stationary, with him jumping in and out, I was cruising around with two figures, a Grand Slam, a Hell, towing all over my living room. And again, that was my first memory of G.I. Joe. From the first time that I had seen the commercial, which we've all watched those commercials probably 100 times before, to the first time we walked into a store and there it was. And like I said, the Sears toy department was amazing. as you know, with so many Sears exclusives. But again, like I said, parents were always shopping there, so that's what you saw. You went in there and they had toys there, and God, what more could you want? It was way cooler than the Kmart toy department, and other than Toys R Us, obviously. But the Sears one seemed to be, seemed to be the best. But like I said, that's my first stories. That's what I kind of want to talk about. Like I said, I could review this, but I guarantee you, if you pull up a review for a Vamp, probably gonna find 1,000 different videos reviewing the Vamp. Let's be honest, we all have it. Instead, I'd rather hear a story. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Like the channel, you can hear other stories, but a wide variety of different things that I'm into, that I enjoy. And if you want to make some comments and tell me about the first time you remember seeing G.I. Joe or your first figures, I'd love to hear it and discuss it. Anyway, you guys all have a great night, and it's been great talking to you.